This
I just heard
conference
that.
will now be recorded.
So I just heard that you are into 9 years of experience into testing. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So it's more towards database API manual testing. It's all
Okay,
that background. So that's the reason like I further now want to move into automation. So
okay. So you
that's
have
why
no
yeah
automation background.
no automation background. Yeah.
Glad to hear that. I was looking for somebody who will say that, I don't have any coding background because I was exactly. Okay, okay. Anyone else?
Hi
Any?
Piyush, this is Sonam. So I'm
Okay.
also in the same bucket. Currently, I'm working with CVS Health.
Uh,
I'm more into manual testing, and I want to upgrade from manual to automation.
okay. So you are completely into manual and you are also looking to upgrade into automation.
Correct.
Okay, right. So specifically, like when I talk to like Shashank and Sonam, any specific expectation that you guys have when it comes to this course of?
So for me, actually, the company where I am working, they are implementing Playwright, and
Okay,
they want us to be the part of the automation team. And I'm
okay,
also interested to move from manual to automation. That is one of the reason. And for in market, if I talk about the others, like in market also now Playwright is in demand. So we
very
have
much into demand.
yeah, we have opportunities in
Okay,
market. Yeah, in
right.
Playwright. So that's another
Okay,
reason.
okay, right. So like Sonam mentioned, so Playwright is actually growing big time into the market. Okay, so looks like we have good number of people. So let us get started actually. So till the time like we were waiting, I really wanted to have some you can say introduction with people and wanted to get to know a little better. I would request you before we get started, please uh, just do one thing. Please mute yourself. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. Please stay muted actually. Right. And there's a hand option into this Google this meeting. And if you have any questions, please raise your hand. Or what you can do is you can post your query in the chat as well. Okay. So I would request all of you to please stay muted so that it should not disturb anyone. Okay. Because if everybody starts talking, it will be very difficult. So let us try to maintain this decorum. Okay. So let us get started. Okay, just give me one sec. So looks like everyone is muted. Okay, yeah. So please stay muted, guys. And some of you, yeah, please don't share your screen or something. Okay, yeah. So hello everyone. Welcome to this demo session on Playwright by Isha Training Solutions. So my name is Piyush Gupta. I'm your trainer, your instructor, and I'm very excited to guide you through this powerful tool for end-to-end testing, which is Playwright. Okay, so before we dive in, it is better to give me a little bit you can say introduction about me. So I have around 19 plus years of experience into the software industry, and I've led multiple automation projects across various domains. Okay, so I'm originally from Punjab but currently in Pune, and I'm giving some corporate trainings into an MNC over here. So currently I also work as a senior test automation architect, and teaching is my passion, and I've trained so many professionals in Selenium with Java. And now like Sona was mentioning, a lot of companies are moving into Playwright. So since last 1 or 2 years, I've been given tons and tons of trainings actually into Playwright, especially with JavaScript and TypeScript. Okay, so at this moment, Playwright is going big time, right? So apart from this, I'm also a successful YouTuber, and I like to share my knowledge and insights with wider audience. But I would like to take you back to where it all started. So when I started my journey, right? So I started as a manual tester in 2006 with no clear roadmap to automation. Okay, unlike today, there were no structured trainings. There was no YouTube back then. There was no Udemy, right? There were no mentorship, right? And I was struggling big time. Okay, back then there was a tool called as QTP. Some of you might have heard, right? Veterans might have heard. People like who are just recently joined or maybe who are freshers, they may not have heard of this tool because Selenium has completely killed it. Okay, right? But now it is called as UFT. But I was very fascinated with coding. Okay, I had to learn the hard way through trials and errors, a lot of late nights, and to be very honest with you, a lot of self doubt. I wanted to get into coding, but deep down, I was very scared of Java. I don't know why, but Java, whenever I used to look at this Java code, somehow, something within shaken me up actually. Okay, so I know some of you are like me actually, right? You want to get into automation, but deep down, you might also have this fear. Can I really get into automation? I really want to make good money because nowadays, just staying as a manual tester alone is not helpful at all, right? You want to move from manual to automation, like some of you are mentioning. Some of you have Selenium with Java background. Some of you have no coding background, right? So we are kind of a mixed group actually, right? So I know exactly how it feels to be overwhelmed by automation and wondering where to start and how to progress. And that is why I'm here, to make this journey easier for you. So I want to share my expertise in a very well structured and a hands-on way, so that you don't have to struggle like I did, right? So you'll be learning from someone who has been in your shoes, faced the same challenges, and found the way forward. So I I won't like to show myself as somebody who's coming as an expert, or you are somebody who's very far off from me. No, I would like to be like an elder or somebody who's there to guide you and support you. You can freely ask me any questions without being judged. Okay, I'm not at all here to judge you. I'm only there to support you and guide you. Okay, so this won't be just another lecture style course. I would like to keep it very completely interactive, because I know college sections, I know they are very boring. I don't want to keep it boring actually, right? I would like to give you a lot of assignments. I'll teach you some real world scenarios and give you a lot of practical exercises to ensure you truly understand and apply what you learn. So my goal is to make you industry ready, not just theoretically, but with real hands-on experience. Because in Playwright, we'll be learning so many scenarios, some real world scenarios actually. Okay, so I'll give you a simple example. You must have seen websites like say makemytrip.com, or maybe yatra.com, or maybe you can say there is Redbus also, right? So these are some websites actually. They are very you can say hard to automate. They are very tricky, especially. So what we can also do is we can jump into these websites and we can do some real coding expertise. Because if we are actually diving deeper into these difficult to automate websites, simple websites can be very simple actually. Okay, so now whether you're new to automation testing or you're transitioning from other tools, like some of you just mentioned that some of you have some Selenium with Java background. So this session, along with this entire should be a game changer for you in the modern web testing. So I'm very excited to be a part of your journey as a mentor, and I promise it's going to be a great journey and a great experience for you guys. Okay, again, I'm about to start, so I would request everyone to please stay muted actually, so that it should not disturb anyone. Okay, so in this demo session, we'll be covering Playwright features and JavaScript features as well. So before we start, if you have any questions, so as I was previously mentioning, okay, so what you can do is you can have put the raise hand option. Okay, so we have this raise hand option at the bottom, right? So you can raise your hand if you have some questions, any doubts, or if you have some specific query that you want me to answer, right? You can mention the chat section. Okay, so like Mohan is saying, don't know why, but I'm continuously getting background noise. It's irritating. Request. I'm not sure actually. So looks like there is some issue with this Google Meet, right? So guys, let us try. I understand, like uh, not all the things can be perfect actually. Even I'm getting some background noise when somebody's leaving and joining. It is kind of raising a small beep. I know it is slightly irritating actually, but that's okay. Let us not focus on the problems. Let us focus on the solutions, because that's the right mindset. Okay, so right, let us get started. So I've prepared this course structure for you guys, wherein you should know what exactly are we going to cover. Okay, so if you see, this is the course structure that we are to cover. So we are going to start with JavaScript basics. Like majority of you who are from Selenium background, I'm assuming, right, that you have just the Java knowledge. JavaScript knowledge you may not have, right? And some of you like who have never been into coding, right? I know you may not have any background into JavaScript, right? So we're going to start
You
from
see,
very basics, very scratch.
hi Piyush. Hello.
Yes, please.
Hi Piyush. Yes, you have shared your screen. Actually, I'm not able to see your screen.
Oh, sorry. I totally forgot to share my screen.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's
See, guys, I'm also very imperfect actually. I totally forgot to share my screen. I was assuming that I have shared my screen. Okay. So I hope now it should be visible, right?
it's loading, I think.
Okay.
Yes, it's
Now
visible.
it's visible. Okay.
It's
Now,
visible now.
So, guys, this is the entire course syllabus that I'm sharing with you. So, on a very high level, I'm just trying to tell you what exactly we're going to cover, so that you should have very crystal clear expectation as to what you should expect from this course by the time we are done. Okay, so we're going to start with JavaScript basics. So we are going to start from scratch. I'm going to assume as if you're all freshers in the case of automation testing. Yes, even those people like who are into Selenium and Java, I'm going to treat you as freshers into automation testing. Please don't mind, huh? Right. I just want to treat everyone equal. Whether you're into coding, whether you have never done coding, doesn't matter. We are going to start from scratch, right? Everything will be crystal clear. Okay, so we're going to start with JavaScript values, variables. We'll be starting with primitive data types and all those things, right? So these are some very basic topics actually that we all should know. Okay, so while designing this course, I was having this thought process that I want to cover everything about JavaScript that is required from automation testing point of view. Because if I talk about JavaScript, JavaScript is like an ocean in itself. It is huge. It is pretty big actually, right? There's no dirt to it actually. So if you'll keep on learning JavaScript, you can even take one full year and still not master it. So out of this entire JavaScript, I'm actually handpick those sections that I think is very important from automation point of view. Okay, because my goal is not to make you a JavaScript developer. My goal is to make you very comfortable with JavaScript and Playwright. I'm not saying that I will make you confident and expert. No, that is not my goal. My goal is to make you comfortable with JavaScript so that by the end of this course, you should feel that, yes, Playwright is doable. I can also do it. And coding is something I can still do it. And we're going to we'll be doing a lot of real-time hands-on experience that you should be quite confident actually. Okay, so it is not just about learning Playwright. You should be confident about moving to any automation project, whether your company is migrating into Playwright or whether you already have a Playwright project in place. You should be confident that yes, I can take up any Playwright project with confidence. Okay, that is my objective. Okay, so this is about JavaScript basics, and slowly, once we're getting somewhat, say, little confidence with JavaScript, we will move on to intermediate sections. In the intermediate sections, we'll be talking about functions and all those things. Yeah, in case if you are from Java background, it is slightly tricky for you. Why? Because you are very comfortable with Java. And now moving to JavaScript, syntax can be completely different. There are some new topics also that you might not have ever heard actually in JavaScript, especially when it comes to asynchronous programming, promises, async and await. Because when I got started with JavaScript, I was very confused with these topics. I saw so many YouTube videos hoping to understand this difficult to understand concept called as promises. Somehow it was a hopeless journey for me. Somehow all those YouTube videos that I saw, all those blog posts that I read, right, they were not really up to the mark. Somehow I never learned it. But I'll try to make it so simple for you that even somebody who has never done into coding, they can easily understand what are promises, what is async and await, and how do we actually use these promises and async and await with Playwright. Okay, so we will talk about JavaScript intermediate, and during this between this JavaScript basics and JavaScript intermediate, I'm going to show you, basically give a lot of assignments, so that, because see guys, learning these JavaScript concepts is very simple. These are the basic building blocks, but just learning the basic building blocks is not enough. Why? Because until and unless you learn how to tie the pieces of the puzzle together, it can be difficult. Let me give a simple example. Right. What I'm also thinking is I should also give a lot of coding challenges. I'm not talking about those lead code type coding challenges, which can be very hard. Right. I'm trying to give you some coding challenges that you should understand, not memorize. Because I'll give a simple example. When I talk to a lot of people, I simply ask them a simple question. Can you swap two numbers in Java or JavaScript? They immediately tell me, Piyush, I can use a temporary variable. Okay, so, okay, this is fine, but it looks like more of a memorized solution. Are you really thinking, or you're just telling me a memorized solution? There's a big difference. You don't have to answer me, guys. Think about it. Another thing, I asked the same question to these people. Okay, you have just told me about swapping the two variables into with Java and JavaScript. Now, let me make a small restriction. You are not allowed to use a temporary variable. If, okay, now 50% people completely go silent. They don't know how to solve it. So out of those 50% people who still know how to solve it, they immediately tell me, Piyush, I will use a mathematical solution like a plus b, a minus b, and all those things. Again, it is more of a memorized solution actually, right? Because if you really want to get good with coding, you don't want to memorize solution, guys. Okay, you want to develop your thought process. You want to train your thought process. Like for example, I'm big time into fitness. Every single day I really want to go to gym, and I believe that consistency is the key. Same thing, if I want to get into good shape, consistency is the key. Same thing, if I want to be good into coding, I want to develop some good consistency patterns, some good habits, right? That is also one of the messages that I also posted in that WhatsApp group. So consistency is the key, guys. Okay, so during this course, I would also suggest you take out or maybe block some time, like your block time for this course, right? I would also suggest you block out some time, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Nobody's telling you that you have to take out 1 hour every single day from your schedule, because I know it can be very hard. I know IT jobs are very demanding, right? There's in time, but there's no out time. I know that it is not easy. But even if you can take out still, in the worst case, 15 to 20 minutes from your schedule, even during the lunchtime, I know it is possible, provided you are very you can say thoughtful about it. So very, very important thing. Okay, so I just gave you this example of swapping two numbers. I'll be sharing with you real-time solutions, not just solutions, but I'll teach you how to think. Because if you learn how to think, right, that is what is going to help you long term. And eventually, not only you should be able to work with two Playwright projects, a lot of you are also thinking about switching jobs. But some of you don't have this confidence that yes, I can switch jobs. I may be able to clear the interviews also sometimes, but will I be able to work into a Playwright project real time? What if I'm not able to contribute? What if they judge me into my current coding? Right? That is a fear that I really want to attack and address. Okay, so we'll be talking about these coding challenges also. So if time permits, I'll share with you this swapping the two numbers, but I'll show you in a unique way that you might not have ever seen actually. Okay, so slowly we'll move on to JavaScript advanced section also. And yeah, you must be seeing these number of hours. Right. Yes, I had to give a number of hours, so I have actually given it. But to be honest, I don't like to teach by the number of hours, because I don't look at my watch when I'm teaching. The most important thing is what all topics I'm planning to cover. It should be covered. Doesn't matter whether it takes 1 hour or whether it takes 1 hour 15 minutes. Right. So that is not what is important. Okay. So another thing I would like to share is a lot of people usually come to me asking for mentorship. Okay, so a lot of people ask me, Piyush, I'm new to coding. I'm thinking of going to coding, but there are so many different tools. Like I hear about tools like Selenium with Java. I also hear about tools like Playwright with JavaScript. Now I'm really confused. Should I start with Selenium? Should I start with Playwright? Right? So I usually tell them, I usually ask a very simple question. Are you fascinated with coding? Have you, what do you think? Is coding natural for you? Okay, think about this very carefully, what I'm saying. Okay, I ask this question. Is coding natural for you, or are you very comfortable with coding? If you're very comfortable with coding, you can go with Selenium and Java. But if you're like me, who was scared into coding when I got started, start with JavaScript. Why? Learning Java is slightly steeper. I'm not saying Java is bad or something, but for a beginner, learning JavaScript is way more easy and simpler compared to learning Java, because learning Java is actually steeper. To be honest, a lot of people think Java's syntax is quite scary. That is what I used to think. But looking into JavaScript syntax, I think JavaScript is very, very simpler actually. Okay, so this is what I usually tell people. Right, so if you're fascinated with coding, you can go with Java. If you're having the developer mindset, you can go with Java. But if you're like me, who was a little scared of coding but still want to get into coding, then start with JavaScript. So there's no right or wrong answer. It depends upon person to person. Okay. Now, next thing, we'll be starting with advanced JavaScript. So in advanced JavaScript, we'll be also talking about object-oriented classes. Right. So in the case of object-oriented classes, right, this is my favorite topic actually, because to be honest, when I was learning Java and JavaScript many years ago, I saw so many videos actually on classes and objects. Every video started with, "This is how we create classes." Unfortunately, I learned how to create classes and objects, constructors and inheritance, but I never understood what is the main reason why I'm actually creating classes for. Same thing in JavaScript also. Yeah, in Java, we have to create classes. That is a mandatory option. But in the case of JavaScript, I can write my code with or without classes. Now, the main question is, why should I use classes? That is why I like to teach actually. So I'll tell you and teach you what is the problem with the current programming, that why we are actually willing to use this object oriented programming, right? So this is what we'll be talking about. I'll not just teach you the stuff, I'll teach you the why behind the stuff. Very, very important thing. If it is not just about creating classes, constructor, inheritance. Anybody can teach you, but 90% people will not tell you why do we create classes in the first place. What is the reason behind constructors? They'll tell you, yes, this is how we create constructors, but that is not right. I think you should know what is the problem that we have and why we use constructors. Okay, and what is inheritance? Everybody can tell, yeah, we can create another class, we can use inheritance using the extend keyword, that is fine. But what is the reason behind using inheritance? That is what we'll learn, and that is what will give you confidence that this is how we should learn JavaScript. Okay, so our teaching style should be quite unique actually, right? It should make you comfortable and confident that yeah, this guy actually makes sense. With more practice, I can actually get comfortable, and that is what my goal is. And eventually, after covering into JavaScript, it might take approximately a month or so. Depends, right? Because anyways, it is going to be a completely weekend course only. Okay, so I think it should take around approximately a month or so. Could be more or less, depends, right? How we are progressing actually. Because I usually like to pace myself as for my students. Okay, if my students are slightly faster, I can increase my pace. But some students are slightly slow, right? And I don't judge them because I was like a slow learner myself. I was not a fast learner. So I can cut down my pace accordingly. So there is no right or wrong actually. Again, okay, and then we'll start with introduction to Playwright, where we'll be starting with the basics of Playwright, those features, the architecture. It is an incredible architecture, guys. I'll be going deep down into Selenium's architecture, like some of you who are actually into Selenium, right? We'll be diving a lot deeper into Selenium architecture, and then we'll also compare how Playwright's architecture is different from Selenium. Or, and in other words, please don't mind, people who are into Selenium, how Playwright is actually better. See, guys, Playwright is better. Definitely, there's no doubt about it. Right? That is why a lot of companies are still they are moving from Selenium to Playwright. Of course, there are some legacy companies who have tons and tons of Selenium code. It is not easy to migrate, right? So yes, but people who are starting a brand new project, they are all starting with Playwright. Actually, 90% of the companies that I know are starting with Playwright if it is a brand new project. Okay, so we'll be diving deeper into Playwright's WebSocket architecture. Some of you may be hearing this word for the first time, but I'll give you a very simple gist. If you're actually talking to somebody on WhatsApp, or let's say you are working into Office, some of you are using, let's say, Microsoft Teams or Slack, which is a very, very common communication channels. How do you guys communicate? Do you guys communicate through HTTP protocol? No. You guys actually communicate through something called as WebSockets. Okay, let's say if you are like me who loves cricket, even loves watching every single ball of the test match, like yeah, I'm such a crazy guy. When India's match is there, I can even watch every single ball of a cricket match, test cricket also, right? So how do we actually do it? If you talk about websites like Cricinfo or this ESPN, right, CricBuzz, they all follow this WebSocket architecture. I don't have to keep on refreshing my page to see the latest score. It automatically refreshes. They don't follow this HTTP based protocol. They actually follow something called as WebSockets. Very, very important thing to understand, right? So in last 3 or 4 trainings, I keep on asking people how many have actually really deep dived into WebSocket, and I get a shocking response. 90% people, they have just heard about WebSockets, but we all are IT professional guys, so it is expected that we should be, staying up to date. We should always be staying up to date. Very, very important thing. Nobody is asking, your manager will not ask you to upskill yourself or keep yourself up to date. It is your responsibility. And something I would like to tell you, which is, you might be aware, but very important thing is, if you want to get better hikes, if you want to really grow, you want to give more value. Unfortunately, a lot of us, what we do is, if okay, from Indian point of view, like some of you have joined from outside countries also, that's okay. But if I talk about from Indian point of view, say if they are paying you say 15 lakh rupees LPA, right? 15 lakhs LPA. A lot of us are actually giving them worth 14 LPA. We are not even giving them 15 LPA worth of the money what they are paying us. Why? Because a lot of us believe in minimum mentality, not a healthy thing to do, right? What I believe in, I strongly believe in, if they are paying you 15 lakh worth of salary, you should pay them 15 plus actually worth of value, right? So yes, this is not something you might be expecting me to tell you, but this is very important, right? You want to go extra mile. See guys, I'm not just going to teach you TypeScript also, or this JavaScript and Playwright. My main responsibility is to give you the right thought process. My entire 20 years of experience, this thought process, if you're able to get this right thought process, you can grow big time. Because person with right technical skills but poor thought process is not going to grow. But person with less technical skills but right thought process can definitely grow. Think about it, what I'm saying. You want to go extra mile, because the more value you give it to the marketplace, the more money you can make. Okay, and your goal eventually should be, suppose if you are in India, I don't know about US market and all, what is the standard package over there, but your goal should be, I want to make 40 LPA plus immediately as soon as possible, and for that I'll do whatever it takes to do it. Okay, so your goal should be, I want to be an SZ as soon as possible. My goal should be 40 LPA. If you are really serious about it, Immediately write it down on a piece of paper after this call, paste it somewhere. Yeah, you might think it is funny, but this is something which is a very, very important technique. Every successful person follows this technique, right? If your goal is 40 LPA, paste it somewhere so that you see it daily, every single day, right? Yes, somehow I feel that I can be a very good speaker also, right? But I was a very shy person initially. So I have changed my personality. You can do it too. Okay. So okay, so this is about introduction to Playwright. We'll be talking about how Playwright is different from Selenium. We'll be slowly moving to how we create tests in Playwright. Suppose if you're a beginner, you have never done coding, I'll tell you how Playwright is very, very simpler actually, and how in less than 5 minutes you can actually create a test up and running in Playwright. Yes, it is that simple actually. In the case of Selenium, I cannot say that. In the case of Playwright, I can definitely tell you, even if you have never done coding before, in less than 5 to 10 minutes, you can actually make your first test up and running. Yeah, it is that simple. Okay, we'll be talking about the parallel execution with Playwright. We'll be talking about reporting and all those things. Slowly, we are increasing the complexity, right? So I'll be giving you lots and lots of notes actually, so that you can actually go through these notes, because guys, repetition is the key. Repetition is the key. Because if you really want to, because okay, let me tell you. So in every class we are going to be learning some new concepts, but it is equally important that not only you are learning new concepts, but you're also continuously revising your old concepts. Okay, so this is very important. You want to continue revising as well. Okay, so we'll be talking about these things, right? So it's a very unique course that I've designed specifically for you. Okay, so we are going to create tests from scratch. We are going to learn about promises and how do these promises apply in Playwright, right? We'll be talking about debugging and pausing, which is very, very super simple, right? We'll be talking about to be assertions and to have. Don't worry if it is not making sense. Actually, I'll not dive deep into all this, but I've given a lot of thought process. I've spent so many hours constructing this course. It is not just a course, this is my experience that I'm actually putting into this course, so that you guys should get the maximum value out of it. Okay, like all my previous students, right? They get maximum value. That is why they keep on saying, actually, Piyush, thank you so much. You don't just teach us Playwright, you are actually teaching us the right thought process. That is what my mindset is. I want to give you basically transfer my thought process into you. Okay, and then we'll be talking about how do we locate these web elements in depth. We'll be talking about these important things. Okay, and then yeah, this is very, very simple. Record and playback will Playwright. This is beginners usually love it. Why? It is very, very simple to start creating their first automation script. We don't have this in Selenium. Yes, we do have something called a Selenium IDE, but nobody really uses it. Okay, and then we'll be talking about the plates UI mode, runner, traces feature, handling drop downs. These are the simple things. But what I think is, like, it is better rather than just teaching you these concepts. How about if I teach you these concepts integrated into a real-time application, wherein you can see how basically we have the challenging issues in the most trending applications, because nowadays in your office applications are not very, very simple to automate. They can be very tricky. Sometimes uh, developer has not given a unique id or unique classes and all those things. It is not easy to identify some controls. That is what we are going to learn, how to identify difficult to locate elements. So I have basically planned, it's a very tricky website actually, redbus.in. Okay, so if you'll ever try it, open redbus.in, right? Try to automate. I mean, look at there's a from drop down, there's a to drop down. Suppose if I'm traveling from, let's say, uh, Punjab to Delhi, right? I will select a bus. It is not easy, right? So this is, we are going to dive deep into this. How do we do all this? Okay, then we'll be talking about different type of alerts, how to work with the pagination table, not just a normal table. We'll be talking about a pagination table. It means usually a table which has got multiple pages. How to automate such kind of table? And what if the element to search is not in the first page? It's a very real-time scenario. We'll be diving deeper into it. Then we'll be talking about mouse movements, uploading files, handling the child windows. Suppose if I click on a link, a new page opens up. How do we automate those things? We are going to be learning. Then we'll be diving deep into API testing with Playwright. Yes, this is something which is going to be very interesting, right? It is, see, a lot of times we just learn how to run an API through Playwright. Yeah, that is very simple. I'm not just going to teach this. I'll be also teaching you how to run connected on multiple APIs. For example, there are two type of APIs. One is an unsecured API, and then we have something called as a secured API. In the case of secured API, for example, in most of the applications that we have, right, we usually have a login API. Okay, so this login API usually gives us something called as authentication token, and all the subsequent APIs that I'm going to fire, they need this authorization or the authentication token, maybe as an authorization header, or maybe as a part of their response request body. It totally depends. So I'll be teaching you how to run these connected APIs, which is going to be very exciting. We'll be also talking about mocking and intercepting APIs. Okay, and then visual testing with Playwright, which is not UI testing, things that I see visually. And finally, very important thing, how to work with the Playwright framework, because Playwright comes with its own framework. So these are the most important features of the Playwright framework. We'll be diving deeper into it. And don't worry guys, if you are still thinking, can I really learn from it? It looks a lot. Don't worry. I have designed this course keeping this in mind, that even if you have never done coding before, you should be still able to understand. Don't worry, I will be there for you. And yeah, AI powered Playwright. Because nowadays we all hear about things like AI agents, agentic AI, and all those things. I'll be talking about how Playwright can be integrated with AI. Okay, so we'll be talking about these things. So this is just a high level course structure that I have prepared for you guys. Okay, right. And if required, we can basically tailor this course as per your need, because this course is not for me. This course is for you guys. Okay, so let us get started. So the very interesting thing that I want to show you is first, right? We all talk about Playwright, but let us see how Playwright compares with tools like Selenium and Cypress. Okay, so if you see, I'm trying to compare Selenium with Cypress and Playwright. So let us see. So these are the downloads what Selenium has for the last 1 year. Okay, so if I try to compare Selenium and Cypress, this is what it is. And now if I even add Playwright to it, so this NPM Trends is a website that helps me track how many downloads a particular library has. So here I'm trying to just compare. Okay, so let us see what happens. So the orange one is Cypress, Selenium is blue color. Okay, and then green one is Playwright. So if you see in the last 1 year, these are the number of downloads of Playwright versus Selenium versus Cypress. I'm not even including Selenium because Selenium is nobody near compared to Cypress and Playwright. Yeah, Cypress is also quite trending, but nowhere near compared to Playwright. So if you just see, not for 1 year, since last 5 years, right now, this is what happened 5 years back. So in 2022, actually, if you see, there was no Playwright actually. It just started. Okay, because Playwright was originally started in 2020, and some JD still say, I'm looking for a person with 6+ years of Playwright experience. That is nonsense, right? That is just a copy paste in JD, because Playwright itself is there in the market for 5 years. How you can get a resource with more than 6 years of experience? Not possible, right? It is just copy paste. Funny. Okay, so if you see after 2024, do you see how this graph of Playwright is actually, it is kind of exploding, guys. Now, just look at this number. What it is? Is it in lakhs or crores? It is 1 crore 35 lakhs. If I just look at a random day, April 13, 1 crore 35 lakhs compared to Cyprus, 56 lakhs compared to Selenium, which is 1852. And yeah, this NPM trends only tracks the JavaScript packages. But if you talk about this, Playwright is not just with JavaScript and TypeScript. Playwright is supported in Java also, Python also, right? So many other languages, just like Selenium. So if we add all of those packages, again, there is no competition between Playwright and any other automation tool. So at least for the next 3-4 years, Playwright is growing big time. Okay, so this is something I wanted to show you. Okay, yeah. And next thing, I will also teach you along the way how to use LLM models like ChatGPT and Gemini. Because very interestingly, when I talk to people and I ask so many people, how many of you are actually using ChatGPT or Gemini? Shockingly, not more than 50% people are still not using ChatGPT and Gemini. I kind of get shocked actually. I don't know why these people are not really using, right? So I will be teaching a lot of things, especially during this course, how to use ChatGPT, how to use Gemini, and all those things. Okay, this is very important actually. Okay, so and after every class, I will be giving assignments so that you should be able to practice. Okay, so let us start with JavaScript and Node.js. So this is the first part of our training, which is JavaScript and Node.js, and then we'll be also talking about Playwright. So we'll be talking about a mix of both. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing, right, I would like to ask is, what is Node.js? I asked this question to so many people, right? But some of the people are able to give the correct answer. Some of them are not able to give the correct answer, which is absolutely fine. I'll give you a very simple understanding. Okay, so say people who are working with Selenium and Java, right? So in order to run Java on my machine, I need something called as JRE. which is called as Java Runtime Environment. Simple, right? I think even a non-technical person can understand. Okay, so in order to run Java, I need JRE, which is like an execution environment for Java. Okay, and for JavaScript, if I talk about, suppose if I want to run JavaScript on my machine, I don't need JRE then. I need something different. What is that something different? I need something which is called as Node.js. So just like how we have JRE for Java, we have something called as Node.js for JavaScript. Now, very important thing to understand is, right, I can still run JavaScript even without using Node.js. How? I can run JavaScript on my browser. Let me show you. Right, so if I open google.com, let's say, right, which is quite interesting. So a lot of you, you are all QAs, right? You must have just right clicked and inspected sometime in your career. So if I right click and inspect, I go to this console section. Okay, so I click on this clear button. So this is the section where I can actually run JavaScript on my machine, right? Basic JavaScript I can run even without having Node.js. Why? Because all the modern browsers, which is Firefox, Chrome, Edge, right, and Safari, all these browsers, they come inbuilt with their own JavaScript engine. Okay, they already have their own JavaScript engine. So when I'm running JavaScript over here, I'm not using Node.js. I'm using browser's inbuilt engine to run JavaScript. In the case of Chrome, we have an engine which is called as V8. You should know these concepts, guys. And yeah, I'm sorry I forgot to tell you. While you are actually into these classes, please sit with a copy and pen and make lots of notes. Or if you're like me who likes to make digital notes, you can use Google Drive and make a lot of notes in your Google Drive, right? So that you can refer back to it. Otherwise, yeah, today you are learning, tomorrow you'll forget. So please make notes. Okay. So let me show you some very simple JavaScript code. If I do this, what is this? I'm running JavaScript code right inside my browser. So it is possible. Okay. I can do any kind of calculations, anything I can do here in my browser. Okay. So another example, say, can I do this? The answer is yes. 5 multiplied by 10. Yes. So what is this? This is all JavaScript code that I'm actually doing. Okay. But very important thing to understand is outside the browser, if I want to run JavaScript, for example, some of you may have seen this Visual Studio Code. Some of you may not have seen this Visual Studio Code. Don't worry. I'll just tell you that if you want to run your JavaScript code outside the browser, then you need something called as this Visual Studio Code is not enough here. Okay, Visual Studio Code is not enough. Now you need something called as Node.js, because in order to run your JavaScript inside Node.js, you need Node.js. Okay, this is very important thing. Okay, so you need to install Visual Studio Code. You also need to install Node.js. Okay, so I'm assuming that you have installed Visual Studio Code. If not, it is very simple. Just go to Google and simply type VS Code download. You don't have to remember anything, just type. And this is the official website of Node.js. And yeah, Visual Studio Code is actually from Microsoft, and it is a completely free tool, lightweight, and 99% of the JavaScript developers actually use Visual Studio Code. So in your case, if you're on Windows machine, just click on this, okay, and it is going to download it for you. I would request, please, guys, mute yourself, okay? Yeah. Okay, so I'm on Mac machine. In my case, I will go with this option and it is going to download it. Just double click on it and simply click on next. It is very simple installation. So this is the first thing. Second thing, what you want to do is you want to install Node.js. How do you install Node.js? Just simply type Node.js download. That's it. Just search on Google. And this is the official website, https://nodejs.org download. Simply click on it. Okay, and by default you will see this. In my case, I'm on Mac machine. It has automatically chosen this Mac OS and it has selected this LTS. Some of you may not be aware of this, but LTS stands on long-term support, and we always want to go with the long-term support version. Doesn't matter whether it is Node.js, Jenkins, or any software, because LTS versions are supposed to be stable. Okay, so if you see over here, this is the LTS version, but this is the latest version. Why I'm not going with the latest version? Because this is the latest version, may or may not be stable. But this LTS version, whether I go with Java, Node.js, Jenkins, or any software, I always want to go with the LTS version. Okay, so in Mac, I'll simply click on this PKG file. If you're on Windows, you will see something called as an MSI option. You can click on this, but before that, just make sure that you're selecting the right thing. On my case, on the Mac machine, if I'm using on a latest Mac, which is starting from M1 onwards, so all the Apple Silicon Macs, I will go with ARM64. But if my Mac machine is like an Intel based Mac or the older Mac, I will go with the x64. Same thing for your Windows machine also. You want to go with, if it is a 64-bit machine, you want to go with this one option. Okay, so now install Node.js, install Visual Studio Code, and then we are all set. Okay, next thing, right? So we are going to start some basic things. So what I've done is I have created a basic folder, say Playwright Step 6. But before that, I would like to share some basic JavaScript code with you. All right. So what we'll do, I'll go back to google.com. Okay, I'll right click again, click on inspect, click on the console, and very, very basic things we are going to learn.
सर आपका वॉइस लैगिंग है सर, मतलब वॉइस आता है जल्दी लेकिन स्क्रीन देर से आती है सर.
Is there a lag? Is it?
हाँ सर, स्क्रीन लैगिंग हो रही है सर 5-6 सेकंड.
I'm not sure, Ganesh. My internet
Yes,
connection is
yes,
pretty
for me
fast.
also.
Yes, Piyush,
Yeah,
it's
for me
happening.
also, sir.
Is it lagging for you guys?
Yes.
Okay, guys, just okay. Let us do one thing. What I'll do is, okay, I'll switch my internet actually. Okay, so I might disconnect for a minute. Okay, I'll use my mobile hotspot then. Okay, so it is very fast actually. So just give me 1 sec. I'm about to disconnect and I'll rejoin. Okay, so okay, just give me 1 sec. Guys, I'm back. Are you able to hear me now?
यस सर.
Yes, Piyush.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, so actually it's a pretty fast internet connection. Not sure what happened. Sorry about it, guys. So yeah, now I hope it should not be lagging at all because now we're going to start with JavaScript, which is something I love to teach. Okay, so we are going to start with numbers. Okay, very, very basic thing. So, right, in JavaScript, we have just one type, which is number. Like some of you who are from Selenium and Java background, right,
Are
you
you
have
sharing the book,
different.
uh, Piyush?
I have
I'm
not
not able
shared.
to.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you have not
just
shared.
talking. I was about to share actually. Okay, let me share now. Okay, yeah. So I was saying that so people who are from Java background, we have different type of we have different data types when it comes to numbers. Like we have something called as int, right? Then we have byte, short, long, double, and all those things. But in JavaScript, we have one type which is number. So whether it is a number, say 50, right? It is number, right? Whether it is a floating point number or a fractional number, this is also a number in JavaScript, right? So we have one type in JavaScript, which is number. So it includes positive numbers, negative numbers, whole numbers, decimal numbers. Okay. And then we have something called as precision points. Okay. So if I talk about the precision points, it means, so if you see over here, right? So JavaScript can store up to 16 digits. Okay, so beyond 16 digits, JavaScript loses the decimal points. So if you see, in this case, I'm getting this output because these are 16 digits. But the moment I try to cross one more digit, you see the output is what? 1. So what do we learn from this? It means JavaScript is not infinitely precise. It can only store a certain number of decimal points. Beyond a certain number of decimal points, JavaScript loses the precision, which is what we see over here. I hope my voice and my video is no longer lagging now. It is fine,
Yes,
right?
it's right, sir.
Anyone
Right.
can confirm?
Right, sir.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much, Ganesh. I wanted to reply to you in Hindi. I cannot. I can only speak in English here. Okay. So, right. So suppose if I have written some piece of code, my requirement is I want to clear the console. What do? Very simple option. Simply click on this clear button over here. Right. So I can simply clear the console, and it has cleared my console. Even simpler option. Some of you might have seen actually. Suppose if I have written some code, right? Very simple option is what? Simply press Control and backtick. Control and L key. Okay. So please write down this shortcut. It is Control and L key, and it works in doesn't matter whether it is Mac or Windows or even in VS Code. It simply works Control and L key. You can even use the clear method. Okay, but again you have to type some method, right? So simple option is just use the Control and L key, and it is going to clear the console. And yeah, in JavaScript spacings don't matter. What do I mean? If I try to type like this, so 4 by 2, I get the output as 2. Can I also do 4 by 2 like this? Yes. So spacings don't matter in JavaScript. But what I think is better is if you put one space to make it more optimal. Yeah, for small code like this, it is okay. But if there are so many numbers, so many arithmetic operations that we are performing, it can be very difficult to read. So one space makes my code more readable. I always want to go with readability. Okay. Then we have something called as a remainder or the modulus operator. Okay. So what I want to do is, suppose if I want to find out what is the remainder if I'm trying to divide 5 by 2. I know that if I try to divide 5 by 2, it is not even number, so it should give me a remainder of 1. How do I find that in JavaScript? Very simple. Just use the modulus or the remainder operator, and it does not divide 5 by 2 properly. It simply gives me the remainder. Okay, so when I say remainder means remainder of 1. So when I try to divide 5 by 2, the remainder is 1. Okay, I'm not interested in the quotient, so it does not give me the quotient. Okay, so and then we have something called as powers. So in mathematics, suppose if I want to calculate something to the power, for example, if I want to do 2 to the power 3 or 2 cube 3 or 2 cube 4, 2 cube something, whatever, right? How do I do? This is what I do. 2 star star 2. So this star star is called as exponentiation operator. So this exponentiation operator does what? It is simply read as 2 raised to the power 2 or 2 square. If I want to do 2 cube, this is how we can do 2 star star 3 or 2 cube 3. There's another way that is also there in Java also, right? So which is math.power. You can do the same thing in Java also, right? So how do I read this? 2 raised to the power 3. So you can do this, you can even do this. But what I think is this is better. Why? It is more straightforward, more compact. Yeah, this is also fine, nothing wrong with it. But this is more straightforward actually. 2 stars are 3 or exponentiation operator. Okay, and then we have something called as NaN and infinity in JavaScript. Okay, so this is slightly odd actually. So JavaScript is slightly weird, right? You will keep on hearing this term, JavaScript is slightly weird. Why? Unlike Java, it is not as strict actually. So when I say NaN, it is first N and last N are capitalized. So when do I get NaN? I'll show you. If I try to divide any number by 0 in JavaScript, right, I get infinity, which is fine. But if I try to divide 0 by 0, I get NaN. So this is slightly odd, right? Anything that is divisible by 0 should be infinity. But 0 by 0 is NaN in JavaScript, and 5 by 0 is infinity. Now, what is NaN? It stands for not a number. So JavaScript does not throw an error, unlike Java. In Java, we get an exception. In JavaScript, it throws an error, not a number. So this is not an error actually. It is kind of a numeric value, but it is JavaScript's way of telling that this is not a number. Okay, so this is slightly odd in JavaScript. Okay, so if I try to do something like 1 plus NaN, like 1 plus infinity is infinity, same thing. 1 plus NaN is NaN. So NaN multiply by 100, again NaN, right? We have this infinity also. If I try to do the same thing with infinity, I'll get the same output, which is infinity only. Okay, now the next thing, how do we declare a variable in JavaScript? It is very simple. In Java, we do something like this: int num equal to 10, and we write a semicolon. Firstly, semicolon is optional in JavaScript. First thing to remember, semicolon is optional in JavaScript. And we don't have data types in JavaScript like this. So this is valid in Java, but invalid in JavaScript. In JavaScript, I'll have to use two keywords. So there are two keywords in JavaScript. let and const. There's a third keyword, but we don't use this keyword at all, which is the var keyword. Some of you might have heard, but we'll be only using let and const. Okay, so let is for those variables whose values can change, while const is for those variables whose values cannot change. Okay, and I see a lot of people usually are confused. Should I use let or should I use const? It is a very simple thing. I'll tell you what happens really in this case. If I'm creating a variable, say if I want to store my birth year, is my birth year supposed to change? Simple question. Is your birth year supposed to change? The answer is no. In this case, should I use let? Should I use const? The answer is quite simple, right? So I hope you must have understood. So in the case of your birth year, right, this is how I can do. Say 1990, const birth year equal to 1990. So my birth year is not supposed to change. That is why I want to use const. Yes, I can use let, but why to use let actually? If I'm planning to change, the answer is no. Better is const. So const is my first preferred choice when I want to create variables. And notice something. When I'm creating a variable, this is how I'm creating. Do you see something? First character is lowercase, and the subsequent word, subsequent character, first character of the all second words and third words are in uppercase. And this is called as lower camel case convention. And this is something which is a very popular convention in Java, JavaScript, and other languages. Like in Python, we have a completely different thing. We use snake case. But in Java, in JavaScript, we use lower camel case. So the first character of the first word is lowercase, and the first character of all the subsequent words are in uppercase. It is a right naming convention. Okay, so how do we do this in memory? So I'll tell you. Suppose if I just created a variable like this, say let birth year
I
const birth year equal to 1990.
Sorry to interrupt, Piyush, but the screen lagging is happening a lot. We are not able to match what you are saying and what you are trying to show.
yes, completely agree. There's too much lag.
It's
Yes,
still
Piyush,
lagging.
same for me. Yeah, yes, same for me.
That is odd actually, because my internet is very fast actually. Not sure why it is still lagging. Okay. Guys, actually, I'm in currently in uh, in, uh, in this place. We have a you can say secured Wi-Fi connection, and only I'm the one who's actually at this place. Nobody else. I'm really not sure why it is lagging actually. But I'm able to hear you very clearly. Not sure. I usually give a lot of trainings also. Like I have some sessions in the morning and afternoon. Nobody complains. I don't know what is happening, or maybe it could be a temporary glitch.
Actually, Piyush, we are hearing you properly, but the screen is lagging only.
Screen is
Just
lagging.
about a
I know
5 or 6 second, I think. 5 or 6 to 6 second.
Right. So guys, just I would just say that try to focus on the solution. I understand this is a major problem. I cannot help it. I tried switching my internet also. Right. But see, that is okay still. Right. Ultimately, yeah. So nobody has really complained. So I'm staying in this place for almost 1 month now. All my classes have gone smoothly. Not sure what happened today. Maybe I don't know. There is something wrong with the internet. Even switched my net to Geo also, Geo hotspot. That is very fast. Not sure why it is not working. Even I'm seeing some poor connection. Sorry guys, but let us try to accommodate this. But yeah, even if you are able to see properly, right? So anyways, it's a demo session. So hopefully from the next time onwards, it should not be the case. This is the first time actually I'm seeing that so many of you are actually getting this small issue. Sorry about this, guys. Okay, but just still whatever I'm saying it quite slow, so even if there's a small lag, that is okay, right? So but thank you so much for at least telling me. Okay, so somebody has posted in chat, please share the screen. Okay, screen is already shared. Okay, but so far whatever I'm trying to teach you, I hope you guys are able to understand, right guys? Anyone, please tell me.
Yes, Piyush, sure.
Okay,
So,
okay,
voice is clear,
right.
sir. Right now, it's a mirror image, sir. Your screen look like a mirror.
Right. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So Sangeeta is actually posting in chat. So we moved on variable having query like this is the lesson for data type in Java, or we're going to learn this in detail with at least one example. Like you share the list like what all types in Java. Okay. So Sangeeta, this is just like a demo class. So I'm just sharing with you all the basics actually. So we'll be talking about this in depth also in future. As of now, I'm just starting with JavaScript. I'll be also talking about Playwright also. Okay, so at this moment, I'm just teaching you how to basically start with JavaScript. Sorry, my screen is lagging, right? So I'm now going to another page, which is the whiteboard. Can you see? Hopefully, you should be able to see. Okay,
Yes.
so I just told you that
No.
I
Yeah,
created a
now
variable
whiteboard is
called,
visible.
okay. So in memory, what happens is, suppose if this is my memory in JavaScript, very, very important concept. What I'm doing is, in the memory, I'm creating a variable and I'm storing this value. Okay, so assume that this is like a memory, which is like a box. Okay, so I'm storing this value 1990 into this box, and the name of this box is what? Birth year. This is how things happen in memory. Okay, so this is something which is very important, because most of the coding assignments you will be able to solve easily if you can really visualize this memory, because people directly jump into the solution without diving deeper into how this memory actually works. Okay, so this is how we create variables in JavaScript, and we use something which is called as lower camel case convention. Okay, so and then just like how we use the lower camel case, we also use something called as const. So how do I create a variable using const? I've just shown you, right? Similarly, I can create a variable like let num equal to 1. So this is how I can create a variable in JavaScript. I can either use let, I can either use const. Okay, but I will never use var also. So this var keyword is recently introduced in Java in the later versions. But now in JavaScript, we don't use var at all. It has some major issues. And I'll teach you in the later sections why we should not use var keyword. Okay, so this is a basic thing about uh, JavaScript numbers, right? One last thing before we move on to Playwright, right? So I'm going to ask you some small questions. So let wind speed equal to 76. Okay, so and then if I do wind underscore speed plus equal to 5, I would want to ask one of you, anyone who thinks is the right answer. So if I do this, okay, actually you're seeing the right answer here. So I really didn't want to do it over here. Okay, so and now if I try to do this, guys, anyone can tell me what is the output if I do wind underscore speed minus minus? Wind underscore speed minus minus. Anyone in this code? I'm creating a variable starting an initial value of 76, and then I'm doing wind speed plus equal to 5. Don't worry if think this is not making sense, right? I'll teach
80.
you this in detail. Wind speed minus minus, it is 80. This is correct. But okay, can you tell me what is a small, tiny issue in this code? It is working fine, correct. But this is tiny issue in this code, minor issue in this code. Anyone who would like to tell me?
You should put number.
Anyone? No, it has nothing to do with number. Anyone wants to try?
Like how we declare the variable,
Okay,
wind
please go ahead.
underscore
Yeah,
speed.
exactly. We are using this snake case. So this convention is used in Python. In JavaScript, this is not how I declare a variable. How do I declare a variable in JavaScript? I use wind speed like this. Do you see? Lower camel case convention, right? This is how we can create a variable in JavaScript. Okay. So now let us start with Playwright now. So this was just the basics about JavaScript. So we'll be learning like how we are actually learning now. Okay. Of course, there will not be lag in the future sessions, right? But okay. So let us start with Playwright. So this Playwright tool is amazingly good. And in fact, as we were discussing, a lot of companies have started working on Playwright, and it has some amazing features compared to some typical automation tools in the market like Cypress or Selenium. Okay. Now, before I dive into Playwright, let me just give you a very quick story. So Playwright was actually created by the same folks who built Puppeteer. Some of you might have heard this tool, Puppeteer. It is a popular automation tool for Chrome while they were working at Google. Okay, so some of these developers actually later joined Microsoft, and that is where Playwright was born. But here's a twist. Playwright is not just another Puppeteer. It takes browser automation to the next level. While Puppeteer mainly works with Chrome, so Playwright supports all the major browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, even Microsoft Edge right out of the box. So you can think of it like Puppeteer 2.0, very fast, smarter, and way more flexible. And if you're looking to do cross-browser testing, or even auto-waiting for elements, handle multiple tabs or contexts easily, or even write tests in different languages like JavaScript, Python, C#, or even Java. Playwright is a game changer for you. Okay, so let me show you something. So I'm on the Google page. So if you see over here, I'll type GitHub Playwright. So I'm on the Google page, and if you see over here, I'll scroll down slightly, right? So it is github.com Microsoft Playwright. So if I just select this Microsoft Playwright, I'm landing onto the GitHub official Playwright GitHub page. Okay, so this is a public repository if you see over here. So GitHub, this Playwright tool is actually an open source tool. What do you mean by open source? Open source tool simply means that the source code of Playwright is freely available for anyone to see. Okay, anyone can see, anyone can contribute. Okay, and if you see, so many changes are happening very frequently. So 12 hours ago, somebody has done some change. So many commits are there. If you see over here, 76,000 stars, 500 plus people are watching over here. They have come up with the latest release, 1.55, just 2 weeks back. Okay, so more than 600 plus people are contributors for Playwright. And if we talk about the languages, Playwright is there in so many different languages. Okay, and if you see over here, Playwright is a framework for web testing and automation. If we talk about Selenium, Selenium is not a framework. Selenium is just a library, while Playwright is a framework. Very, very important thing to understand. If you're making notes, please write this down. Okay, so Playwright allows testing in Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit with a single API. Now, when I got started with Playwright, I was a little confused. What is this Chromium? I've heard about Chrome, I've seen Chrome. Is Chrome and Chromium same? Is it different or what? Anyone who is aware of this Chromium thing? Anyone would like to tell me if at all you guys are aware? No? Okay, so I'll tell you. So Chromium is basically a base that is developed by Google only. Okay, so it is basically an engine that is developed by Google. Now, on this engine, Google Chrome team have added their own branding. They have added Google Chrome specific features, and they have created a browser, and they call it Google Chrome. But Chromium is the base. Okay, and if we talk about Microsoft Edge, okay, so even Microsoft Edge is also developed from the same base, which is Google Chromium. Okay, so Chromium is the base, while we can create any browser out of it. So if you're a developer, you can create your own browser from Chromium. Okay, right? And Playwright allows different browsers like Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit with a single API. And this is something which is interesting. Now, what is WebKit? So this WebKit is an engine for the Safari browser. Now, some of you may be aware that Safari is a browser that can only be run on Mac machine. Can I run Safari on Windows machine? The answer is no. But using WebKit, I can run Safari on a Windows machine through Playwright, which is quite interesting actually. Okay, so Playwright is built to enable cross-browser web automation. So in the case of Playwright, I can run my tests on any browser without writing even a single or extra line of code. In Selenium, I have to write some extra lines of code for this. In Playwright, I don't have to write even a single line of code for this. So cross-browser testing is very simple. All I have to do is just go into the configuration file of Playwright. I'll show you how it looks like, and then make that small change. It is very simple. And then we have something called as headless versus headed execution. What do I mean by this? Okay,
I'm
so
seeing blank screen. Piyush.
blank screen means
Hello?
I'm on
Ah,
the GitHub page. Are you not able to see GitHub page?
no. Is for everyone or I don't know for me.
Okay,
Yeah, able to
okay,
see.
I'm
Now
able to
it's
see just
yeah.
now.
okay,
Yeah, now
okay,
it is blank.
okay. Yeah, because I've reshared, I'm unsharing and resharing because I thought, I don't know, I've reshared. Are you guys able to see now?
I can see the mirror view. Yeah,
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
now it is good.
we can see you.
okay. Okay, sorry guys, I don't know what was the issue previously. Right, okay. So I'm on this GitHub page. So I was talking about the headless and headed execution. So what is headless execution? Headless execution means you are running something, but you'll not be able to see. It is like in invisible mode. While as a manual tester, when I'm testing something, I open the browser, I can see it, right? I can do anything what I want, but that is headed execution. But headless execution is like browser will open, but I'll not be able to see it. And mostly we do headless execution in the case of CI/CD pipelines or something. Suppose if I'm trying to run my regression suite, say 500 test cases or 1000 test cases, do I really want to see the browser opening and closing all the times? The answer is no. Okay, but if I'm automating something, that particular time I want to see the browser, I want to see what is going on, right? So in this case I will go with headed execution, wherein I will see the browser. Okay, so this is how different headless and headed executions are different. Okay, now I'll teach you how to install Playwright. So some of you have never installed Playwright. It is very simple, right? So if you see, there's a particular command that they have given. So what do? After we have installed Node.js, after we have installed Visual Studio Code, open the Visual Studio Code, right? So what do? Just do one thing. Go to new window, file, and new window. This is how your Visual Studio Code should look like. I hope my VS Code screen is visible to you guys.
Yes, Piyush.
Yes.
Right. So
Yeah.
what do? I have created a folder called Playwright Step6, which is an empty folder. So if you see, it is an empty folder. What do? The simplest way of opening any folder in VS Code is just drag and drop, right? So just drag and drop. You can either drag and drop or you can even like this. See, drag and drop. And this folder will be automatically imported inside the Visual Studio Code. Another option, if you don't want to do drag and drop, what you can do, you can go to File, Open Folder, navigate to the path where the folder is present, suppose in this case, and simply click on Open. But I think drag and drop is more straightforward actually. Okay, and by default, you see font size is quite less. Okay, what do? I would like to zoom in because somehow I really don't like this font size. What do? I'll press Command and plus. On Windows, you can do Control and plus or Control and minus to increase or decrease the font size. See, I can increase or decrease the font size. So for me, I think this one is slightly better. Okay, so I'm able to increase or decrease the font size. Now, what do? I'll install Playwright. So how do I install Playwright? I can install Playwright using the terminal. But in VS Code, there's a brilliant option actually. Okay, so VS Code has its own inbuilt or integrated terminal, right? So whether you're on Windows or Mac machine, you don't want to go outside the VS Code because right inside the VS Code, you have this option called terminal and new terminal. Okay, even if you're not able to see this terminal option, there should be some three dots over here, and from here you can see terminal. Sometimes it is not directly shown. Simply click on terminal and new terminal, and you should be able to see a terminal like this. What I need to do now is simply type this command npm init playwright @latest. That's it. npm space init space playwright @latest, and simply hit enter. Okay, and now it asks me a couple of questions, and it is very simple, guys. What I need to do, it is asking me, do you want to use TypeScript language or JavaScript language? For now, I want to go with JavaScript, which is simpler, right? So how do I select JavaScript? Just use the down arrow key. So using the up and down arrow keys, I can choose this option. So I'll select JavaScript, hit enter. Now it is asking me, where do you want to put your end-to-end tests? So it is asking me, which is that folder where you want to put your Playwright test. So the folder that I want to use is test folder. So I'll simply hit enter to select the default option. Simply hit enter. Then it is asking add a GitHub Actions workflow. We are not talking about GitHub or CI/CD pipelines. Why? We are making things very simple for now. So just ignore this option, simply hit enter. This is a very important option, guys. You should understand this. What happens is, it is asking to install Playwright browsers. Now, if I'm a beginner, I may wonder, what kind of option is this? I already have an Arc browser on a Mac, or maybe I already have a Google Chrome, I already have a Firefox or even Edge. Why do you want to install this Playwright browser? It is because Playwright does not work with my existing browsers. So Playwright installs its own browsers that are already thoroughly tested and they are stable. Okay, so Playwright is going to download its own versions of browsers. So it is going to download Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit. Okay, which is completely different from the existing browsers that I have. Okay, so this makes integration with browsers very seamless and easy. In the case of Selenium, before the Selenium manager came into place, like people who are into Selenium, they must be aware of this feature called Selenium manager. Prior to Selenium manager, it was a nightmare working with Selenium. Why? If the browser kept on updating, you your existing script is not going to work, right? Because your browser is updated, your browser driver is of the previous version. Compatibility issues there, so the script is failing. So that was a major pain actually in the case of Selenium. But after Selenium Manager, this have easen easily. But in Playwright, it is very, very simple. You don't have to worry about browsers, their compatibility, their version. So Playwright takes care of all these things automatically. It is so simple. Simply hit enter. Okay. And now if you see over here, it has actually installed Playwright on my system. Okay. So, right, you should look for this message called happy hacking. So I've just shown you in just 1 or 2 minutes, I'm able to install Playwright on my machine just by running one command, which is npm init playwright @latest. Okay. So, and now how do I run any of the Playwright tests? So they've even given some of these commands. The most simplest command that we can do is npx playwright test. Simply copy this command and scroll down, paste it over here, right? And if I hit enter, right, let us see. See, nothing seems to be happening, but Playwright is running. Bros, did you see? This is kind of an headless execution in place. Okay, I didn't see any browser that is open, but Playwright is able to run these tests. So these are some tests that are already present in this folder. I hope you remember, just like just a minute back, Playwright was asking me, what is the folder that you want to use to store all your tests? I gave the default option test. So this is the default file, right? That is coming by default with Playwright. It is like an example file for my reference, but we are going to learn from scratch everything. So we'll not be using it. Okay. So we just saw an example of headless execution. But suppose if you are interested in seeing how does the browsers look like, let me show you. Simply use the up arrow key so that we don't have to type the same command again. Use a space, simply type dash dash headed and simply hit enter. Now you will see the browsers opening and they are all running in parallel. So this is a Firefox browser, which is nightly. Okay. And this is what? WebKit actually. Again, my browsers are done and my scripts are passing. So you see in less than 5 minutes, I'm able to install Playwright and able to even run my first step. It is very, very, very simple. Okay. And if you see, I'll show you this example.spec.js. Right. So it has got some two test cases. Let me close the terminal. So if you see, this is one test case in Playwright. This is another test case in Playwright. And it is very, very simple. And Playwright test is more of an English-like statement. So if you see, even a non-technical person can understand what does it mean. Page.goto means I'm simply telling Playwright, go to this page. It is as simple as that. Right. So this is the official website of Playwright, which is playwright.dev. On this website, what am I trying to do? I'm telling Playwright, so on this website, I want to check if the title of this page is Playwright. And see, this is also very English-like statement to have title. So whatever page I'm opening, I'm simply saying this page should have this title called Playwright, right? I hope you must have started to understand how Playwright is so simple actually. It is more of English-like statements. All the Playwright methods are so easy to read. Page.goto, page to have title, right? Same thing, page.goto, page.getByRole. This is something we'll see later on, but this is just a very simple test case, right? So, right. So this is about JavaScript and Playwright actually, right? Any questions, guys, in this? Any questions? No questions? Okay. So,
Like, uh, one second. So, will you be
yes.
able to test any particular version, Chrome version?
Sorry, Samir, what you are saying? Okay. So your question is, can I test a particular Chrome version? Correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Correct. So the
yeah.
answer is yes, we can. So we have an option called channeling. Using this channeling feature, what I can do is, right? So I can actually test for a particular Chrome version, and that is possible, but it is not really required. Why? Because the thing is, Chromium browser, if I'm actually testing, so basically the base is Chromium. So if I'm actually testing on Chromium, it is assumed that by default it should run on all the major Chrome versions. But if you still want to do it, it is possible. Okay, so Amruta is asking me difference between TypeScript and JavaScript. Okay, it is very simple, guys. So I'll tell you. So JavaScript is the base, right? While TypeScript is something which is like a wrapper around JavaScript. And the full form of TypeScript is what? TypeScript is JavaScript with types only. So if you want to learn TypeScript, the prerequisite is you have to learn JavaScript first. Without learning JavaScript, you cannot learn TypeScript. Okay. And another thing, TypeScript is like similar to Java. Like in Java, we have so much stricter checking, while in JavaScript, right, there is no stricter checking. For example, if I create a variable and I assign a number to it, can I change this number to a string? The answer is yes. I can even pass my name to it, which is a string. Okay, so this is called as dynamic typing in JavaScript, while in Java it is not allowed, while in JavaScript it is allowed. To make it stricter, we can use TypeScript. So that is the answer to your question. So Amruta, at the end of this course we will be diving deeper into TypeScript also, and we'll be also covering how JavaScript and TypeScript are quite different actually. Okay.
So, Piyush, which is preferred for Playwright testing, automation testing?
What is the question, Prashant? I didn't get that. Come again, please.
Which language is preferred for Playwright automation testing, Piyush?
Which language you mean
TypeScript
to
or
say?
JavaScript?
Okay, so as a beginner, you should start with JavaScript first, but eventually you want to move from JavaScript to TypeScript because
Okay.
TypeScript is similar to Java. It is more stricter compared to Java. And yeah, I didn't mention NPM. I may have spoken NPM by mistake, but yes, it is NPM actually. NPM stands for Node Package Manager. So some Sandeep was asking, are we doing demo or is it like actual lecture? So guys, this is more of a demo class. This is, you can consider this like an actual lecture plus a demo, because at this moment people want to understand what all things are going to be covered, right? So on a high level. So I was basically for tomorrow also we'll be starting with basically some bit of JavaScript and something about TypeScript. Playwright, and then we'll start with the actual sessions. Yes, guys. So, okay, Sangeeta is raising a hand. Please ask me, Sangeeta. Let me, okay, unshare my screen so that it should not look like infinite mirror. Yes. Yes, Sangeeta, please go ahead.
Sorry, I just forgot to, like take my hand back. It was older question. I don't have a question currently. Thank you.
Okay. No worries. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ganesh is asking, is you are covering JavaScript logical programming? Yes, I will cover this. I had to be slow actually because you were saying because of this lag, right? Hopefully this lag is not going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll show you something interesting, very interesting thing, guys. I'll be teaching you how to dive deeper into programming, this logical reasoning. Just learning JavaScript alone or Java language alone is not enough. You want to basically learn how to tie the pieces of the puzzle together, how to get better in your logical thinking pattern, so that you should be able to even crack the interviews. Plus, you should get a lot of confidence. So yes, we will cover this. Okay, some other people are raising their
Hi,
hands.
hi, Piyush.
Yes,
Uh,
Samir.
you mentioned TypeScript and JavaScript. What about other languages? In some blogs, I read that the binding is not that great with Playwright for Java and other
Exactly.
Java, Python.
Correct. Yes. A lot of people usually ask me this question, Samir. So yes, your question is very valid. So what happens is whenever a new feature comes in Playwright, so what happens is it is usually there for JavaScript actually and TypeScript. For Java and basically other languages like Python, almost 85% of this functionality is supported initially, but it takes maybe usually 1 or 2 months for this functionality to be fully integrated with Java and other languages. That is why when it comes with Playwright, so JavaScript is the language everybody uses it. You will not find much openings for Playwright with Java and Playwright with Python. You will see a lot of openings for Playwright with JavaScript and TypeScript. Any further
Thank you.
questions? Okay, Sumaya Sayyed has raised her hands. Yes, Sumaya, please ask me.
Hi Piyush. So parallelly, I also install Visual Studio and also follow the same steps which you have followed. But I'm
Wow,
using
wonderful.
Windows, so I just face the error which I have posted in the chat box. It's like SSL error. So
Okay.
I want to know why is this error?
So Sumaya, what we can do is after this class, you can connect with me maybe personally. I can help you resolve this error. Fine.
Okay, sure. Thank
So
you.
yes.
And
So I'm at,
one more question.
yeah. Go
Uh,
ahead.
yes. So it's like we are going with JavaScript with Playwright. So how many
Right.
days it will take to cover all the class? It's like I have
So
also got
yeah.
your link. Yeah.
Okay, so in my previous batch just got over at day before yesterday actually. It was a weekday batch, right? And now we are starting with the weekend batch, right? So yes, it was a 4 hour weekdays actually, approximately. So going by the same thing, it took almost 2 months approximately. So I think this course should also take anywhere, I mean, 2 months somewhere actually. Could be maybe slightly more or something, because again, my job is to cover all these topics in much detail. You guys should get the maximum value out of it. So even if it takes 2.5 months, how does it matter? Doesn't matter at all. You guys should be confident and comfortable working with Playwright and JavaScript. At the end, you should feel that yes, I am comfortable, I am confident. That is the thing.
Yes, yes. Thank you for the answers.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, even after this class, right? My number is there on the WhatsApp group. You can ping me on WhatsApp. You can ping in the group. You can ask questions. To share whatever questions you may have. Any further questions, guys? So the demo is kind of actually over. Oh yes. So Sonam is asking, will you be providing recording of each classes? Yes, guys. We will be sharing the recordings for every class. Right. So we'll be actually creating a YouTube channel. It's a private channel. We will be adding you there. You will get access to this recording the very next day actually. So somebody from Isha Training Solutions, they will be doing. I'll not be doing it. It is not my part, but they will be doing their part very diligently. You will be getting a recording every next day. Any further questions,
Hi
guys? Oh,
Piyush. Hi Piyush.
yes, please. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to ask, will you be covering the POM topic also in this course? Page object
Uh,
model?
oh, yes, Abhishek. So page object model is something that is a must to cover. Without page object model, I don't think we're actually doing justice to the course. Because page object model, some people call it design pattern. I usually call it more of a common sense pattern. This is something we have to use. We will cover this in depth actually. Not only page object model, we will be covering industry best practices. CI/CD, okay, Deva is asking, CI/CD setup is covered. Of course, we will cover. And if something is there that you think should be covered, please let me know. We can tailor this code accordingly. Right? It is not being rigid that whatever course content I have decided, we are going to cover this only. If at all you think something is important, we should be there. We can think about it. We can do it. Yes. Okay. Any other person?
Piyush,
Sandeep, Sumaya.
one last question.
Yes, Abhishek. Go
Piyush,
ahead.
which framework you will be covering in this automation course? Any frameworks are there?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Because see, Playwright comes with its own framework. Like I was telling that in the case of Selenium, we have different options. Like we can go with TestNG, we can go with any kind of framework actually. But in the case of Playwright comes with its own inbuilt framework, right? Which is very very powerful actually. You don't want to go outside actually. Okay, because Playwright is very powerful. Unlike Selenium, it has so many advanced features like auto waiting is there. So if we talk about let's say Selenium does not have any auto waiting mechanism, while Playwright has auto waiting mechanism. And in order to use it, I don't even have to write even a single line of code. So if I'm a beginner, I will love Playwright. Why? It is so simple to use. And coming to the framework part, the framework is so simple, so easy that I can easily get my hands on it. Plus, I'll be covering all the important things about the framework, like I was showing you in the initial part. That's syllabus. Okay, after course, Ganesh is saying, okay, just a sec. After course, it is possible to tell that I have 2 years of experience in Playwright automation. Ganesh, to answer this question, the answer is yes and no. I will not sugarcoat it, to be very honest. If you are practicing every single day, if you are doing all the assignments which I'm giving you, if you are dedicatedly doing every single day, yes, you can. But if you're doing it on and off basis, then it can be difficult. I hope you understand. So some people are like, they will practice daily. Yes. What is the course fee? So regarding the course fee, you can get in touch with Isha Training Solutions. They will be helping you with the course fee actually. Okay. Right. So
Uh,
anything.
Piyush, does the Playwright support mobile permission also?
Samir, that's a very interesting question. So Playwright supports mobile emulation. Okay. Yeah, Playwright supports mobile emulation. When I say emulation, it means I can resize my browser to look like a mobile view. For example, I can shrink my browser to look like an iPad view or look like a Galaxy view. That is something I can do. But if you're talking about mobile automation, for example, mobile apps or something, that is not supported. So for that, we have a dedicated tool called as APM. Some of you might have heard APM.
Okay. And
Yes.
will you be covering the latest AI features like MCP server and all?
Yeah, we are going to be covering MCP servers, correct? Because nowadays it should be there actually. A lot of people are talking about AI. So in this basically the entire course we'll be talking a lot about AI. Because see, we should go what the market is needing, right? We cannot be like Nokia, right? We have to be very, very fast in adapting.
What exactly in AI you will be covering? Can you please elaborate?
Yeah. So in the case of AI, like I was talking about in that course structure, right? So in the case of AI, we'll be talking about how we can integrate Playwright with AI. So Playwright has very recently come up with this beautiful feature called as copy prompt. I'm not sure if you've heard about it. It's a beautiful feature actually, wherein if there's an error in my Playwright code, Playwright automatically generates all the error logs, everything that I can ask to any LLM model like Gemini, ChatGPT, Copilot, anything. Then what we're going to do is we'll be talking about this model context protocol or MCP servers, how we can utilize them with Playwright. And then of course we can also talk about how we can leverage GitHub Copilot to accelerate Playwright test automation. Okay, so yes, we will be talking something about Gen AI as well, which is very important. Mansa is saying poor Nokia. Right, see, Nokia was pretty good. I still remember when I was in college, I was having Nokia phone. Unfortunately, they didn't adapt fast. That is why they're left behind. So guys, if we really want to move ahead, we want to be smart. Okay, not only I'll be teaching you Playwright and JavaScript, I'll be teaching you my thought process, I'll be teaching you some latest strategies, how to crack the interviews and all those things. Plus I have prepared some very bonus important material. Okay, let me quickly share with you. So I have prepared some good bonus material. So I'll be sharing some 30 API testing interview questions, very, very important, handcrafted. Advanced API testing interview questions, not just the basic, advanced API testing. I'll be sharing with you beginner's guide to software testing. So some of you who want to refresh their concepts in software testing, I will be sharing this with you. Right. And then I'll be even sharing with you manual testing interview questions and answers, even Playwright interview questions, Postman
Are you
PDF.
sharing
There,
the screen views?
no, I'm not sharing. I'm just reading out for you.
Okay.
Anyways, like you guys were saying that it had a lag, so I thought let me remove this lag. So anyways, I'm talking, so why to share the screen? So I'm just saying. So yeah, so I'll be sharing some software testing interview questions plus some senior test engineer interview questions along with SDET interview preparation. This is important. Like I was telling you, your goal should be to reach 40 LPA plus as soon as possible. So basically you're targeting yourself to become an SDET, software development and testing, right? So I'll be sharing this interview preparation guide also along with salary negotiation techniques. Very, very important thing. How do we basically negotiate our salary, right? It's not just simply whatever they are saying you should say yes, or whatever they are saying you should say no. There has to be some diplomatic way. Very, very important thing. So these are very important PDFs that I'll be sharing with you along the journey. Okay, so Shashank is saying thanks. I was about to ask you regarding interview questions. And trust me, guys, so this course is not just a course, it is going to be a transformation journey. Oh, Sonam is saying you are a good speaker. See, when I've actually make a lot of YouTube videos, so that is why I've overcome my, shyness issue. So thank you so much, Sonam. You guys can be like me. I will not see. You will never get bored in my class because I feel that learning should be with fun. Because 9 hours, I think we do a lot of boring stuff at times, right? So this class should not be boring. We don't want to have another boring thing in our daily schedule, right? So we will try to have a lot of fun. Okay, so this is something I feel that when you are actually enjoying. Oh, please, I cannot share this at the moment, Shashank. Please talk to me in private. Right. Okay. So I really see this is how I like to teach actually. Right. So I cannot be serious somehow. Even if I'm having a headache, but still you see me actually enjoying. Right. So this is something I really want to tell you and teach you. Right. Guys, you need to develop confidence. Without confidence, just learning Playwright and TypeScript and JavaScript is not enough. Because you can crack your interviews only when you develop good confidence. Because the interviewer wants to see how confident this guy is. If he's not confident, I don't think he can actually work better. Okay, some more people are raising hands. Not sure, guys. You can unmute yourself now. So feel free to unmute yourself and ask me questions. Or suppose
Yeah,
even if you
please.
don't have a question, you can ask me later on also. Yeah,
Hi,
go ahead.
Vijit here. Am I audible?
Sorry, Abhijit, I didn't get you. Come again.
Yeah, am I audible? I'm just asking.
Yes, yes, Abhijit.
Yeah, so you told about the framework. So in the framework, will you be incorporating the BDD also, or is it like something?
Okay, so at the moment we are not covering BDD for now because I think that BDD is not really important, especially with Playwright. Because Playwright, see, why do we use BDD? We use BDD because we want to make it more simpler. We want to use a cute wrapper. Yes, in the case of Selenium, it makes sense. Why? Selenium commands are very complex. A non-technical person may not be able to read it. But in the case of Playwright, the commands itself are so simple, so English-like, doesn't really make sense to use BDD. So some people just use BDD just for the heck of it. But in this case, yes, we are not using BDD. But if you want to still cover it, we can think about it.
Yeah, because in our current project, we are using Test Cafe and BDD, but right now they are doing
Okay,
a
okay,
POC
okay.
to cover the
Mm-hmm.
BDD and Playwright. They are going to do a
Okay, okay.
POC with Playwright and JavaScript with BDD. So that's
Right,
why.
right, right. Okay, so Abhijit, so that's a very good suggestion. So we can think about using this BDD. Why? Because as I was mentioning, this course is not for me. This is for you. At the end of the course, you should see the value. Like when my course just got completed, one person gave an brilliant feedback. Right. So just 2 days back, so there was this guy who was a test manager. He shared this brilliant feedback with me. Right. So I just love it. So ultimately, you should feel the maximum value. Otherwise, no point in having this course if you don't think you are getting the most out of it.
Yeah, and I have another one question. I'll ask it after the class. So,
Abhijit, you're somehow not sure if your voice is not very clear. I don't know why.
yeah, what I'm saying is I'm having another one more like question for you, but maybe
Yeah,
after
please go
everyone has
ahead.
finished it, I'll just.
So I'm not sure if I'm able to understand. But what you do is like Abhijit, looks like there is some issue at your end. What you can do is like after this class, you can either post in the WhatsApp group or you can either ping me in private. Whatever it is, you will get your answer for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. Any other question, guys? I see so
Piyush,
many people.
yeah, API
Yeah, Krishna.
testing also we will cover, like API automation using post
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Playwright.
API, see, because API is a backbone for any modern application. Without covering
Yep.
APIs, it is not really, I don't think I'm actually doing a justice to this course. Not only this, I'll be teaching you how to do cookie injection thing. Very, very advanced topic. You will love this cookie injection part. And I'll be teaching you how these modern applications really work. A lot of people, they just know on a surface level, but I'll be diving you deep into how modern applications really work. Not a part of automation, basically, from theoretical point of view, conceptual point of view. I'll be clearing these topics. I'll be clearing your concepts about this. Very important thing. So thank you so much for asking. Yes, we will cover API testing.
Okay, thank you.
Sumaya's raising her hand. Not sure. One more. Abhijit is raising hand.
So, Piyush, I have a question here.
Yes, Shubham,
So
please go.
for the playwright, so for the playwright, do we have the built-in reporters, or we need to install the third party something?
Okay, that's a good question, Shubham. So that is the beauty of Playwright actually. So what the problem with Selenium is just a jar. We have to do everything by ourselves, whether it is reporting, framework, everything. In the case of Playwright, Playwright has its own inbuilt reporter, which is quite powerful actually. But if you still want to go with the third-party one like Allure, like some people want to go with Allure report for Selenium, yes, you can go with it. But Playwright's inbuilt report is very powerful actually. So to answer your question, yes, we already have inbuilt reporter and we'll be diving deeper, a lot deeper into Playwright report also.
Okay,
P-
Piyush,
Yeah.
Piyush,
thank you.
Yes, Amir.
uh, yeah, Piyush, like in Selenium, we have a third-party tool for uploading and downloading files like that.
Okay.
So what
We
about
don't
in
need
Playwright?
all of this actually. So Samir, yes, I'll be showing you how simple it is to upload files actually in Playwright. It is damn simple. I think in less than 5 minutes, I'll be able, will be able to teach you this concept. It is that simple. So, see, guys, this is something I want to tell you about Playwright. Playwright is a very beginner-friendly tool, while Selenium, according to me, is more of a developer-friendly tool. So, if you have the developer mindset, you want to go with Selenium. But if you're like me, who is a beginner in coding, you want to go with Playwright. It is very simple. So, any questions, guys? So, Abhijit, Sandeep, Sumaya have raised their hands. You can unmute, guys. You can talk to me one by one. Yeah. If you still have questions.
Yeah. Hi Piyush, are we going to cover like real-time applications, automation framework?
Yes, Sandeep. So that is what I was saying actually. So I will be talking about some very complex applications. For example, I can pick up anyone, say yatra.com. It's a very complex application. This is a real-time application that keeps on changing. It is not easy to automate it. For example, redbus.com. Okay, so there's this
Yeah,
website,
like
Redbus.
Flipkart, Amazon, Paytm.
Correct, exactly. That is what I'm saying. So, yes, I can take very simple websites also. Yes, to start with, we will start with simpler websites, but eventually we'll move on to some very complex websites also. Because ultimately, that is what is going to make us confident.
Yeah, okay. And like installation and all those things we are going to see tomorrow, right?
Please come again, Sandeep. I didn't get that.
Installations of like Playwright, VS Studio, and all those things. Because I don't know how to install and all those things, so you
Okay,
just
okay.
telling
Don't
like
worry, Sandeep. What we can do is you can drop me a WhatsApp. I can share a document with you. I have a full-fledged document that you can follow to how to install Visual Studio Code, how to install uh, Node.js. Everything is there. That is what I'm saying. I will be giving you detailed documents. You will love these documents. Nobody actually shares this level of detail actually. Mostly people share pointers. I will not share pointers. I'll share deep documents for your reference. You will love these documents.
okay, yeah, okay. I have pinged you on WhatsApp. Please share me the same. Okay.
Okay, you're very fast. Okay, I'll do this. But yeah, after this, I have to go for my dinner. Huh? I'll do it afterwards. For sure, I'll do it.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
Hey,
you.
do we have the other timing all available for this class,
So
or is
Dhaval,
the
we
same?
have okay. So the timings are going to be same actually because considering all the people actually. Yes, I know it is not easy for some of the folks actually, but considering it is a weekend, right? So like it in India, it is 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. What we have decided. Could be slightly more, right? Because as I've told you, right, I don't like to just go by the hours actually. So could be slightly more, but even if you're not able to attend everything live, you will get all these recordings. So it is like a self-paced lesson for you. But yes, if you're able to join live, nothing like it. Simple example, watching a live IPL match in stadium is far better than actually watching the recording. So if possible, please do join.
Uh, and
Yes,
Piyush,
Shubham,
what
you're
is the
saying so.
duration for this?
Okay, Abhijit, I'll just come to you. Yeah, Shubham, what's the question?
What is the duration for the course actually?
Okay, so the duration of the course, as for my experience with the last batch, is last batch took almost 2 months, few days. In this course, considering it is a weekend batch, I think it may go anywhere between 2.5 months, maybe even short up to 3 months. I don't know. Depends. Like if you're asking me questions, I'll not say no to you, right? I'll have to slow down in that case. So it depends. Some
Okay.
people are fast learners, some people are slow. So depends how the people are, performing actually.
So, are you covering the Java? I initial missed meeting because I have another class with SAP Tosca.
Okay.
So, are we covering the JavaScript basic to intermediate in this
Oh
case?
yes, yes,
And
Dhaval. We'll be starting from scratch only. I'll be teaching you as if you're a kid. Sorry, I'll be teaching you as if you're a fresher in automation testing.
okay. And second thing, are you planning like any Azure pipeline or CI/CD other pipeline in this also?
Yeah, Jenkins is a part of this, but if you're talking about Azure and those things, that is not a you can say a scope of this course. But yes,
Mm-hmm.
if you think, yeah, maybe in the future classes we can include. But at this moment, we are actually covering Jenkins, what are CI/CD pipelines, how
Mm-hmm.
basically how to run my Playwright scripts to Jenkins and all those things. That will be covered. But if you're talking about
Okay.
Azure and those things, that is not included at the moment.
Okay.
Tomorrow also we will have this class, guys, so you will get a fair idea. But I think one demo class is enough actually. Okay, so